Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. As it turns out, naming a little human for the rest of their lives is very difficult. There's either someone you know with that name that you're like, oh my gosh, can't stand them, can't give them that name. Or you have a very opinionated partner who happens to hate all your names because that's a big one over here. In case you are new to my channel, hello, my name is Carly. I have an almost 2-year-old daughter named Kennedy, and I am currently 29 weeks pregnant as I'm filming this video. My husband and I are expecting a little baby boy in early December. I'm going to be sharing the baby names I love, but probably won't be using. Might be using if my husband decides to come around and admit that I'm doing literally all of the work. So I probably, maybe, should get a little bit more rights to naming this child. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos. Wanted to say a huge thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring today's video. Scentbird is a monthly subscription service that gives you the opportunity to sample from over 600 fragrance brands. Scentbird lets you choose a new designer fragrance to try every month for just $15. Scentbird partners with all of the top brands and all of the indie brands, so you know that you're getting 100% authentic fragrances every single time. With each fragrance, you'll get a 30-day supply, which is 120 to 140 sprays. That's way more than you'll get in a trial vial you can get at the store. You can even upgrade to receive 2 or 3 products a month. This month, I received Marc Jacobs Daisy Oh So Fresh, Amazing Grace Bergamot, and Scents of Wood, Sandalwood, and Oak. The Scents of Wood scent is an exclusive partnership with Scentbird, so you could only find it here. And this scent is so delicious. It's a mix of sandalwood, vanilla, and burnt sugar. It seriously smells like the perfect fall night. It smells like warm nights around a campfire, but glam. It is incredible. So if you get a chance, definitely try out this scent. Especially with having a new baby on the way, I love being able to indulge in self-care items that are still a little bit more budget conscious. Instead of spending a lot of money on just one fragrance and having to commit to that scent, this way I can try out a bunch of different designer fragrances at a much better rate. If you guys are interested in trying out Scentbird, I actually have a coupon code. It's for 30% off, making your first order only $10. I will put my code on the screen as well as in the description box. Thank you so much again to Scentbird for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get into the baby names I love and might be using. And I think what I'm going to do is do one boy name and then one girl name. Currently, we're expecting a little boy in a few weeks. I'm 29 weeks pregnant, so I'm like super into the boy names right now, but I do have a list of girl names from when we were naming our daughter Kennedy. So I will share all of those with you guys. The first boy's name that I love, that I wish I could use, is Fitzgerald. I think this is the cutest name ever. I love the shortening Fitz. No shame in me admitting that Fitz is 100% from Scandal. I'm obsessed with that name. My husband has told me under no circumstances am I allowed to have both a Kennedy and a Fitzgerald. He says I will look like a crazy person who's obsessed with the Kennedys, especially JFK. I'm not, you know? Like, I didn't name Kennedy after the Kennedys. I just really like the name Kennedy. It's really unfortunate now because the Kennedys are a massive family. Do you know how many names they have in their family? Good names? I even think the name Fitz on its own is super cute. But yes, my husband has struck that one out. So the first girl's name that we were actually heavily considering but ended up not using was Charlotte. I personally liked it more for all the shortenings we were going to call her by. We ended up not using it because my daughter just did not feel like a Charlotte. I was in high school. People used to call me Charlie, so her nickname would be Charlie. My mom's nickname when she was in high school was Sherry. I was thinking if her name was Charlotte, I could call her Cherry. So then it would be kind of like a play on my mom's name. I was totally like, let's just name her Cherry. I love the idea of just naming her Cherry. And my husband was like, okay, Gwyneth Paltrow, that's a fruit, not a girl's name. It wasn't just like I picked a random fruit that I thought sounded trendy. It was because I wanted to name her that because it was like the way my mom spelled her nickname. It was just gonna be like a cute next gen, like play on my mom's name. Apparently my husband thinks it's Apple 2.0. Another boy's name that I absolutely love is Graham. It's cute, but not being like cutesy, you know? It's just a good name, a good strong name. My husband vetoed Graham because he thought it sounded like Graham, G-R-A-M, like grandma. Get over here, Graham. I hear it. I love the name Graham. I think it's so, so cute. A name that I was so close to using, except for my husband not wanting it. And when we found out we were pregnant again, I was like, if it's a girl, can we please use this name? And he was like, it's still a no from me, dog. Was the name Callie. This is the name my dad actually wanted to name me when my mom was pregnant with me, but my mom didn't like it, so they went back and forth and they ended up deciding to call me Carly. My husband's middle name is Carson, so I wanted to give her the full name Callie Carson, so then it would have been like her grandpa and her dad would be the source for her name. My husband and I got engaged in California, and like a big part of our love story was us living in California. I was just like shooting the hundreds with this name, you know, like keep adding on the sentimental stories, and he wasn't vibing with it. Instead, he let me pick a president's name, and now I have so many other names I can't use. This next name is the name that I'm absolutely obsessed with. That's still on my list of names that I'm considering naming a baby, but my husband is like 100% not into. So if you see any iteration of this as my baby's name in the future, just know that I either won a major battle or I had a terrible labor and my husband gave it to me. I love the name Grayson. I would spell it with an E. It's not like a new name. It's not anything super cool or unique. I think it's like in the top 30 or something, but I've just loved this name for years. I really want to be able to call my kids Kay and Gray. I think that would be adorable. Cody, not so much. Cody still thinks that like Grayson's not a normal name, and I'm like, it's in the top 50 for years. Like there are so many people in their generation gonna be named that. It's like the new Michael. I wanted to have James be my daughter's middle name. I love James as a name for a girl. My husband actually did like James, but when we said this to my parents, we were like, oh, we might name her middle name James after you, Dad. My dad was like, why? I hate that. He's very like old school and traditional, and he was horrified at the thought of me using James as a middle name for a girl. And I was like, well, it kind of defeats the purpose if the person you're doing it to honor doesn't like it, asks you not to do it. I absolutely love the name Beaumont. So cute. And my husband actually really likes this name too, but the reason we're not going with Beaumont is because our last name starts with a B, so I didn't want kids in school calling him Bobo. The thought of like a relative or a schoolmate or someone calling him Bobo drives me insane. We were saying things like, oh, Bobo broke his leg down at the creek. I can't. The actual shortened Beau, B-E-A-U, is so adorable. It's so cute for a boy. And I love Beaumont as a full name. It sounds very like Southern professional. Go back and forth being like, can I use it? But Bobo just gets me. We tossed around the idea of Katie. My name's Carly, my husband's name is Cody, and my mom was like, oh my gosh, you should combine your two names if you want to stick with a C name, and she could be Katie, and it'd be like the perfect combination of your names. And my mom had no idea that that's the main character in Mean Girls, and we had to break it to her like, I'm so sorry. I quote Mean Girls all the time. People will literally think that I'm a freak if I name my child after that because the amount at which I quote that movie. And she was like, no one knows that. It's like literally your names. It's so cute. Ultimately, the movie is what ruined that for us. I absolutely love the name Edison for a boy. We were out one day, like walking around the farmer's market, and we saw the cutest little boy. And we asked his mom what his name was, and she said Edison. And I just thought that was adorable, so cute, couldn't get over it. The reason we don't like it for us though is we have a daughter named Kennedy, and then having a son named Edison, it'd be like Ed, and Eddie. So many Eddies in the name. If this baby would have been a girl, I would have been hardcore fighting for the name Briar. I absolutely love the name Briar. Again, like I said, our last name starts with a B, so I love the alliteration. I think it's super cute. I didn't go with Briar with Kennedy because I was like, oh, everyone will think it's Briar from Sleeping Beauty, but Sleeping Beauty is one of my favorite Disney movies. But I love that name so much. I think it's so cute. I would have even done like the full-on Briar Rose. I think it's a beautiful name. I absolutely love the name Thompson, and my husband actually really liked this name too. When I suggested the name Thompson, he was about to be like, done, that's it, let's go with it. But it was actually me who was like, I don't feel like that's our son's name. Like, I love the name, but I don't love the nickname potentials. Obviously things come up naturally, but I still just didn't love the idea of being like, what, Tom? Like, I'm gonna call him Tom? I don't love Tom. I'm not gonna call him Toms. I guess you could call him T. I'm the one who actually put the X on that name. I love the name Oakley for a girl, and I love the name Oakley so much that I was like, oh, I really wish I could use it right now with this baby, but I feel like Oakley just feels like a girl's name to me. My husband is not on board with the name Oakley. I think it's because like a friend of his has a dog named Oakley. Isn't that like the struggle of my life with naming children? Because we all either know someone who has the name, or someone's pet has the name, or someone's president has the name. I love the name Jackson, but obviously as you guys are reading, you're probably like, yeah, so does everyone else in the world. And that's why ultimately my husband didn't want to go with it, because he thinks it's just way too common now, especially with everyone spelling their kid's name also Jackson with an X. When he gets to school, I don't want it to be like The Bachelor for boys when it's like Jackson B, Jackson S, but it's one of my all-time favorite names. And the pastor at our old church in Chicago is named Jackson. He's one of my all-time favorite pastors. So it's just like, why can't we use it? Also, apparently my husband doesn't want me using Jackson because the shortening Jack. If I'm out at a park, I can't be like, Jack Kennedy, because again, people are gonna think I'm obsessed with the Kennedys, and it's like, how many names do I have to rule out because my daughter's named Kennedy? This is terrible. I also love the name Rosie for a girl. My daughter's middle name is Rose, and I always thought if she grows up and hates the name Kennedy and she doesn't like it, she can always go by Rosie at least. Also in my family, kind of just as like a sibling inside joke, we all call each other our middle names. So I was like, oh, my family will probably end up calling her Rosie, which is really cute because I love the name Rosie for a girl. This next name I love for a boy, but I also like it for a girl. I love the name Parker. Got no crazy tea to spill over this one. We both like the name Parker. I think it's really, really cute. It's a good, strong name. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like mine. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't feel like a Parker, but maybe I'll change my mind when it's here. Maybe I'll be like, oh, Parky. I also really love the name Brighton for a girl. I think it's so cute. I don't know about the nicknames for Brighton. Like, there's not a ton you can do with it besides B, but I just think it's a really cute name. I think it just sounds very happy, you know, like Brighton. I love the name Ezra. I think it's so cute. I think Ezra's getting a lot more popular now, but I just love this name. And maybe it's because I loved the character Ezra Fitz. Can I just name my child Ezra Fitz? I like both of those names, although not condoning Ezra Fitz and his actions in the show. Obviously a little creepy, but the name, love it. I love the name Hazel for a girl. I think that is so cute. And it's not like super weird, you know, where it's like too trendy. People know how to spell Hazel. They're not gonna mess it up. It's not hard to pronounce. Last name on my boys list that I like is Ford. I love the last names as first names. I think Ford is just a great, strong name. But again, it just didn't feel like our son. My husband liked this name actually. He actually really likes the last names as first names too. Nothing against the name Ford, I love it. It just doesn't feel like my child. But pretty much any last name or presidential name is our vibe apparently. Just not Fitzgerald. I can have any other president I want, just not Fitzgerald. I love the name Riley for a girl. I think Riley's cute in general, like boys or girls. I also really like gender neutral names, but especially now I think Riley's really, really cute for a girl. I think I would still consider Riley, but I think it's a like top 10 for girls now. So I don't know if I want something that's that common. All right guys, those were the baby names I love and probably won't use, but maybe use. Who knows? But you should definitely use them if you were looking for a name and you liked any of them. If you guys liked today's video, please give the video a thumbs up to let me know. Also, don't forget to comment down below. Let me know if there's any names that you love. Make sure to follow me along over on Instagram in case you're interested and want to see baby updates. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!